My Place. And when you buy houses from us, you'll log on and register. Every one of you are already registered. You're being registered right now. So when you fill out that card out front, you're going to have an email from us that says thank you for becoming a member of My Place and registering. And if you buy a house from us tonight, your house will be placed in your store. So you'll be able to go into My Place and open that up and look at that. And then as this information is already in there or gets added in there, you'll be able to see this information on this property. So you can see all that in your store on My Place. That's where we put all the info. And then here's where it really gets interesting. In 25.9, you bought that property now, and we're going to take every one of those sales calls. So every time that phone rings, some remember that for sale signs on that property, and those people sitting in that driveway are going to call and ask all those questions. Our people are going to answer those phones in North Carolina. All the calls go there. We've got a couple hundred numbers. All of them ring to North Carolina, where our home office is, and then we're going to answer one of those phone calls, and then we're going to try to sell those homes. If we sell them for you on a rent-to-own contract, remember that's our best way, a little bit down, a little bit per month. If we sell that for you, there's going to be no additional commission. It doesn't cost you an extra dime for any of that of the 25 out of the 25.9. It's all included in there. If it's a cash sale, we charge an additional 10%. We give that straight to our folks that are on the phones. And the reason why is I incentivize them 10%. And I think it's a good thing for you to do too. Here's the example. You buy a house for 25.9, they sell it for $50,000 cash. Will you give them $5,000? Will you give them $5,000? Yeah, right. Wouldn't you? I would hope so. That's a good answer. So we incentivize them to try to get those cash sales up as much as they can by giving them a piece of that. That's 10%. But if it's not a cash sale, it's a rent to own, no additional cost to you. It's all included in the 25.9. Now, once we get a person in that house, say you bought a house from us for 25.9, say someone moves in 90 days, and they go, okay, we moved in, they're paying $400 a month and $1,000 down. Now they've moved into the property. A couple of days later, our mortgage department's going to call them and say, hey, we'd like to pre-qualify you for an FHA loan. It'll make your mortgage payment go down from what your rent payment is now. You go from about $400 a month down to about $320 a month would be the average right now. And so it's not going to be no cost to them because you're going to pay all their closing costs. I will or you will, right? Again, if they're going to give you a check for, let's say, $60,000, will you pay $3,000 in closing costs for them? That's the right answer again, yes. So we're going to pay all their closing costs for them. It's going to be at no cost. And those people on the other end of the phone usually say, sure, pull my credit and see if I get qualified for that mortgage. Some of them actually do. And the ones that don't, why don't they get their approved for a mortgage usually? What's the number one reason? Credit. Credit score is not high enough. So we're going to actually, for that 25.9, once that call takes place, that mortgage evaluation, and if they do not get approved, then we're going to contact them the next day or so and say, hey, the owner of the property, me or you guys, whoever that is, has prepaid for your credit to be repaired so that we can get your score up, so we can get you that mortgage so we can cash out. So they're then going to say, we're going to try to repair your credit. It's all going to be for free. They usually say, okay, that's good. Yeah, you can do that. So we're going to let them do that. So all of these services are included at one low price of $25.9. You get the house, you get to the house and all of these services with it, all for that same price. Now there's a lot of benefits to being in the bank, a lot of benefits to the rent-to-own contract we're talking about. That rent-to-own contract very much so resembles a mortgage at a bank. It very much so. It's not the same thing, but it very much so puts you and I, as we're the owners of that property, in a position to receive the same benefits that a bank would receive when a person signs a mortgage note, because we're going to receive the benefit of that. So here's some of the benefits that we can receive if a person does a rent-to-own contract. Number one, all the end user, the person living in the property, they're going to make all the improvements and all the repairs and all the maintenance. Just like if you have a mortgage on your house, you don't call your mortgage company and tell them when your air conditioner tore up or you'd like to expand the sunroom or you need new carpet in the back bedroom. They're not going to do that for you. We're not going to do that for them either. That's their house, their responsibility. So they have to, that's the benefit of being a bank under a rent-to-own contract. Also, the taxes and insurance are not paid by us, the investor. Once the person moves in, they're paid by them, right? So if you've got, just like you escrow your tax and insurance, if you've got a mortgage, well, they're expected to escrow their tax and insurance if they have a mortgage on the property, right? Under that rental agreement, rent to own, exact same thing. So there's a lot of benefits to being the bank. You get the property occupied. That's when if you're thinking like a bank and thinking like a banker, you want somebody in it as quickly as you can, or as much as you can, but you want them in there quick. You don't want the house sitting vacant. You want to put someone in it as quickly as you can. And that's a lot of the benefit that you get from being the bank. Also, the referrals that come from this, from the RTO contract, we're getting a tremendous amount of referrals now in our company. Actually, in some cities, we have a waiting list of homes. So when we get homes, we have more people that want these than we actually have homes for that available. So a lot of referrals we're starting to get now because we've been doing this a couple of years off of these rent-to-owns. And then the only other piece in the 25.9 that's additional is we'll actually, just like a bank, we'll service that for you. So if you want us to collect your rent and collect their escrow payments of tax and insurance, we'll charge you a one-time setup fee of $500 and then 10% of the rent. And it's usually, we never take less than the $500 as a deposit, as a down payment or / deposit on a rent-to-own contract. So it always is enough to cover that. So you don't have to come out of pocket for it, but we would keep that $500 setup fee. Once a person moved in, we would take the $500 setup fee if you'd like us to collect the rents, and everybody does. That's the hardest part of the business. And it's the least rewarding of it. We probably lose money in this section of our company, but we get to collect our rents as well and yours as well. So we'll collect that for $500 setup fee and 10% of the rent. If it's that $1,000 down and $400 a month, we get $40 a month and send you the rent. Once you've got that, let me show you some of the benefits of the rent-to-own contract. This is a chart. And this chart assumes that once a person moves in, so let's say it takes 90 days for a person to move in the house that you buy. Once that person moves in, and they're in the property, this is a 12-month chart. This shows you 12 months from the day that a person moves in. This is what some of the returns could be at a 25.9 price. Okay? This shows you 12 months from the time a person moves in, based off different rental amounts and option prices of what your returns could be at your purchase price of $25.9. So say you buy a house tonight, it takes 3 months for somebody to move in. And at 3 months, they start moving in, they start paying you $400 a month. Not $700, not $800, not $1,000, but $400 a month. We're going very conservative. If they pay $400 a month, they agree to pay $1,000 down to $400 a month, then they pay $400 a month for a total of 12 months, according to this chart. Once they've paid you for 12 consecutive months, then they obtain a mortgage. We get a mortgage for them and we cash them out. That's what this assumes, okay? It's just to show you. If it happened in month 11, if it happens in month 13, it can happen. This is a 12-month snapshot. So they took, say you bought a house tonight, in 90 days someone moves in, 12 months later they cash you out. These are what your returns would be. If they moved in at $400 a month, regardless of the house, that carries with it an option price of $59.5. You see that? In 12 months at $400 a month, how much rent would you collect? 12 months at $400 a month, how much rent would you collect? How much? $4,800 in rent. So you would receive $4,800 in 12 months at $400 a month. Plus, in the 12th month, we're assuming they cashed you out. They got a mortgage, and the option price is $59.5. So $59.5, the cash you get in month 12 if they cash you out, plus the rent you would have collected in 12 months, equals $64.3. See that? These two add together. It's a total of 148% return if you pay $25.9 and they cash you out 12 months after this chart begins. Do you see that? Okay. If a person pays $500 a month, it's $74.4. $6,000 in rent payments. That'd be a total of $80,400 or 210% return at the same 12-month period. Do you see that? If a person, you say, there's no way anybody's going to pay $400 a month, and they say, okay, let's go all the way down. Our lowest rent that we will allow without approval is $250 a month. $250 a month. Less than a used car, right? Right? Less than a used car payment, right? Like a buy here, pay here, used car payment. $250 a month being the mortgage payment. If that's what we got, every house that we have over there for sale, if all we got was $250 a month, and we don't, we get more. But if we only got $250 a month, that's an option price of $37.2. You would collect $3,000 in rent. You'd have a total return on investment of $40,000.